This week's module touched on the very important topics as they pertained to the development of human rights. It's important that we have the human Declaration of Human Rights that we have in place today, as opposed to no human rights. And prior to the 1940s, the countries weren't even united at all through some organized groups. So, thanks to the United Nations post World War II, we were able to get that together and bring these countries together to create this group that, regulates how human beings are treated in the world, which is a great thing for people everywhere. One of the interesting takeaways from this week's material was that the Declaration of Human Rights is published in over 500 languages and remains the most translated document in the whole world. I'm imagining more than the Bible, which is what I thought it was. So, the fact that everyone has an idea of how they should be treated on a global level by institutions and government organizations is just a great thing, in my opinion. The question remains is whether these government institutions are actually treating the people in accordance with these rights. And I mentioned in my discussion that I don't keep up much, but there are certain times, especially in countries outside of the United States, I feel here, our foundation was generally based upon our rights as United States citizens, but in other countries, they weren't developed in such a way where, the government might be more of a dictatorship, at least like in places like North Korea, and from my understanding, Russia's leaders have always been just. Even though they don't agree with United States ideals, or we bump heads with government officials, might bump heads with Russian officials sometimes, but I think that they do a good job at, their citizens always seem happy to a certain extent, and that they seem like they're treated in accordance with the human rights established by the UN. So can't really complain there. I think that it's important for these leaders to continue to, have some sort of regulating authority where they have someone to answer to with these human rights, because they are important for a global foundation for each human being, not even citizen or religious affiliation or national affiliation. It's important for everyone to be treated equally to a certain standard. So it's important that these government officials practice that.